A number of Easter egg hunts taking place across the area, including a unique hunt taking place in Lamar. New questions are being raised about security after a U.S. Capitol police officer was killed and another injured when a man rammed a vehicle into them at a barricade outside the Capitol building.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
One person is dead and another in critical condition after an accident in Joplin. This is the late edition of the KOAM News at 10. I'm Chris Warner. The crash occurred just before 5 on South Range Line Road. Now, officials with the Joplin Police Department say the crash involved a car and a motorcycle. The driver of the motorcycle was transported to a local hospital but later died from their injuries. The driver of the car was taken to a local hospital and is listed in critical condition. The JPD Major Crash Team is currently conducting an investigation. Beautiful start to Easter weekend out there. I couldn't complain. I don't think anybody could, not even the Easter Bunny.
No, and I don't think we'll have any complaints about the forecast for tomorrow. We'll get to where we're going in a few seconds, Chris, but the numbers for today certainly look good. We started cool in the mid-40s this morning and a high of 72 this afternoon, back above our average high for this time of the year, which is 66 at Joplin Regional. I do not have a single thing on the SKYWATCH storm tracker, maybe some cloud cover earlier today, but we've been seeing underneath quiet skies all evening long. One wave passing through Texas, a very weak wave, might give us partly to mostly sunny skies tomorrow, but I am watching our next system getting us that together out in southwestern Canada. That might play havoc with our weather setup as we go into the middle of next week. In the short term, though, you couldn't ask for a better setup for our Easter Sunday. Mostly sunny in the morning, then we'll just say partly to mostly sunny for the afternoon ahead. 50 to start for a chilly Sunday morning and highs topping out near 73. We'll break down when rain chances will return here in just a bit, Chris.
All right, Nick, thank you. And for those of you at home, wouldn't it be great to be able to take the SKYWATCH weather team wherever you go? Well, we've got some good news. You can with the SKYWATCH weather app. It's got the latest forecast and severe weather alerts all in the palm of your hand. All you need to do is head over to your favorite app store and search for the SKYWATCH weather app. And did we mention it's free? And with that perfect weather, it was great for some early Easter egg hunts across the area. We begin in Miami, where the Bargain Center hosted a hunt at noon today. Kids ages 0 to 12 were invited to come out and search for Easter eggs filled with exciting treats. Organizers say they were hopeful they'd be able to draw a large crowd with the declining number of Easter egg hunts taking place in the area.
I mean, the reason we do it is to just, like I said, to give back to them. And there's a lot of places that don't do Easter egg hunts anymore over the last couple of years. So hopefully, you know, we have a little bit larger turnout than normally. And it looks like we are having a pretty good turnout today.
There was also a golden egg hidden out there for the different age groups with a special prize going to the lucky kid who found it. Well, instead of a traditional Easter egg hunt, the Lamar Elks Lodge hosted a drive-through Easter egg giveaway today. Families and cars showed up to Lamar City Park to collect their bags of eggs filled with money, candy, and toys, which the local Girl Scout troop helped decorate. The Elks Lodge says having a drive-through instead of an actual egg hunt this year was to keep families in the area safe while still being able to enjoy Easter.
Normally we do the Easter egg hunt where, you know, everybody, it's a free-for-all, and there's usually a ton of people in a very close proximity, and we just thought this would be the best option this year.
Over 100 local families drove through the park to safely celebrate Easter this year. One small business from Nevada called Little House Journals came out to the Joplin Empire Market today to sell their hand-sewn journals, sketchbooks, and other items. Cody Martin and her husband started making journals and cards as a hobby, and then they started selling them. And their business has been growing ever since, so much so that they are starting to work with other local artists.
We've got some other artists we're starting to collaborate with to bring in some other designs. So we're really passionate about supporting creatives in any way that we can to help them get their work out there too. And we didn't see that coming. It's just kind of bloomed in this business.
The name Little House Journals comes from their own little house that they live in and work out of. And they say living in a smaller home is what makes this business possible. Those authorities search for a motive in Friday's attack that left one Capitol officer dead. A U.S. officer told the Associated Press the suspect, Noah Green, had been suffering from delusions, paranoia, and suicidal thoughts. CBS News correspondent Tom Hansen has more from New York on new security concerns in the wake of the incident.
National Guard troops patrolled the area the day after the deadly attack at a security barricade about 100 yards from the Capitol. The U.S. flag is at half-staff for fallen Capitol officer William Billy Evans. The 41-year-old father of two was killed and another officer injured when a blue sedan plowed into them before hitting the deployable gate. Evans' family friend, Jason LaFOREST.
He spoke about, his service proudly, but it didn't affect who he was. He was, a truly great guy. He loved being a dad more than anything.
Police say the driver in Friday's rampage got out of the car with a knife. They say 25-year-old Noah Green attacked the officers, stabbing one in the face. Capitol Hill police shot Green, who later died at the hospital. The incident comes less than 3 months after the January 6th insurrection, when masses of supporters of then-President Trump stormed the building. Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan chairs the House subcommittee that oversees the Capitol Police.
Yeah, I think we'll be reviewing everything at this point, including the fencing. And the big concern I know for a lot of people are these kind of lone wolf attacks.
Ryan says Congress needs to reach a bipartisan agreement over security at the Capitol. Tom Hansen, CBS News.
The retired Lieutenant General Russell Reyes led a task force that conducted a 6-week review of security at the Capitol. The findings urged Congress to increase Capitol Police, erect mobile fencing, and bolster protection of members of Congress. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Corporal Richard Bettis served with the Army in Korea from 1952 to 1954, his hometown, Joplin. We are proud to recognize Corporal Richard Bettis, tonight's four-state hero. And remember, to learn more about other heroes or to nominate one of your own, just head over to our website at KOAMNewsNow.com. And that is a look at our top stories and a quick check of the forecast on the KOAM News at 10. Still ahead, we're going to take a look at this week's top medical stories and the latest on women's rights protests in London. Why exercise is so important for Parkinson's patients, and a warning about going back to work after a heart attack. Famie Redwood has a look at some of the week's top health stories.
Working long hours after recovering from a heart attack may increase the chances of having a second one. A study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology shows that heart attack patients who return to working nearly 55 hours a week are twice as likely to have more cardiac trouble. A healthy diet and exercise may improve chemotherapy outcomes for children with cancer. A study tracked 40 young leukemia patients at 2 California hospitals. It found that cutting calories, reducing fat and sugar, and increasing physical activity may boost the effectiveness of chemotherapy. And a new study in the journal Neurology finds exercise may help slow the progression of Parkinson's disease. Researchers found activities like walking, biking, or even household chores help patients maintain better memory and thinking skills over time. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Famie Redwood, CBS News, New York.
Well, this Easter weekend is the first time since the pandemic began health officials are not warning people to stay home and avoid getting together with their family members. Andrea Flores has more on how to celebrate and stay safe this Easter weekend.
Egg hunts and family gatherings are Easter Sunday traditions. This year, some families will finally be able to get together and celebrate the holiday as the CDC issues new guidance for group gatherings.
We can see the finish line, but we're still 2 miles away.
Easter Sunday will be the first major holiday Coloradans can celebrate together as vaccinations open up to everyone 16 and older.
When we talk about people being vaccinated, I think you really need to understand where are they at in the vaccine series. That's the key, is that you're at least 2 weeks beyond your actual vaccination.
This week, the CDC announced fully vaccinated people can gather indoors without masks.
You want to still think about who am I around? And, Yeah, all the adults are vaccinated, but are all the kids vaccinated? We know they're not. There's a lot of families that are probably going to be gathering with children. It's something to remember.
Fully vaccinated Americans are also allowed to travel within the U.S. ahead of the holiday under new CDC guidelines. Dr. Michelle Barron, Director of Infection Prevention at UC Health, says gatherings and travel should be approached with caution.
None of us have a stamp on our head that says that we've been vaccinated. And so you'll have to assume that everybody may or may not be.
Even if you've been vaccinated, Dr. Barron says it's important to remember the pandemic isn't over just yet.
It's like another layer of protection.
If you haven't been vaccinated, the CDC says the safest way to celebrate Easter this Sunday is to celebrate outdoors, maintain social distancing, and of course, wear a mask.
Women's rights protesters converged on Parliament Square on Saturday, a month after the kidnap and murder of 33-year-old Sarah Everard in South London. Now, protesters chanted slogans and held aloft signs critical of women's treatment by men and what they say has been a lack of action by both the government and police services. Everard's body was identified through dental records on March 12th after a discovery in Ashford, Kent, some 56 miles southeast of London. Now, London's Metropolitan Police, which said the vigil broke COVID-19 lockdown rules, faced accusations of acting with undue force after a number of women were pinned down and then dragged away in handcuffs after the crowd refused orders to disperse. An independent watchdog said on March 30th that police had acted appropriately and cleared the police of any wrongdoing. Taiwan leader Tsai Ing-wen paid her respects to the victims of the deadliest train accident in 7 decades on Saturday after she visited those injured in the hospital. The crash, which killed at least 50 people and injuring hundreds of others, occurred after an express train hit a truck that slid down a bank next to the track from a construction site. Taiwanese prosecutors released on bond the manager of a construction site whose truck authorities believe caused the train accident. Flags across Taiwan were at half-mast to show respect. Meteorologist Nick Kelly is up next with his complete forecast, and a little later, an abandoned baby capybara has a new home after being abandoned by its mother.
We enjoyed a pretty nice Saturday after a chilly start this morning, but all it took was a good south breeze throughout the day and plentiful sunshine. That is no wonder why the amazing skies we saw from Indigo Sky and all across the area outside of Seneca, Missouri really saw a boost in temperatures. We had everyone starting cool this morning in the mid-40s. As a result of the sunshine and the south breeze kicking into gear, we did see mainly lower 70s along and east of the US 69 corridor, and once you worked west from 69, you saw more mid-70s across southeastern Kansas and northeast Oklahoma. Ever since we hit sunset, though, we've been seeing the numbers fall back into the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. We're not done cooling down just yet, but we're not looking at a cool night ahead of us. We'll only drop back to about 50 degrees. So anyone still out late tonight or getting ready for sunrise services in the morning, you might need a light jacket, but I think 50 is probably the coolest many of you will go before we see highs jumping back into the lower to middle 70s once again for your Easter Sunday. Not much to show you throughout the course of the day. Maybe some morning cloud cover, but nothing really showing up on the SKYWATCH storm tracker for much of the day. If you widen out the view a little bit and put on the surface map here, we have an area high pressure. Granted, it's right on top of Savannah, Georgia, but it is still strong enough to keep that southerly wind in place. That'll mean lows near 50 tonight and definitely a nice and mild Easter Sunday. Then our frontal systems to the north. Doesn't do anything for us for the next few days, but it'll start to make its approach by Tuesday and Wednesday once we get this upper low near Vancouver to start moving along. Until then, we're on the warm side of the jet with maybe a weak wave working across Texas as it skirts to our south tomorrow. The worst it'll do is maybe send a little bit of cloud cover our way for tomorrow afternoon, but this time around, our Easter Sunday, it's looking nice. Granted, we have to get past another kind of chilly start in the morning, but everyone should bottom out in the upper 40s to about 50, especially Joplin's low of 50 degrees for your Easter Sunday morning. Then the south wind kicks back into gear at 10 to 20 miles per hour, and even with a little more cloud cover trying to sneak in, Temperatures look pretty good. We'll go 67 by noon. Joplin at least tops out at 73 for your Easter Sunday. And again, it's going to be another case where the farther west you go from Joplin, you may see more mid-70s before the afternoon is all said and done. So a very mild, if not warm, Easter Sunday. On the plus side, though, can't deny it was nice to keep things quiet as we stay on the warm side of this upper level ridge. We'll do it again for your Monday. I think we'll stay dry and mild again with partly sunny skies. Then comes Tuesday with this next system. Sticking with Doug's pattern, we could see a few thunderstorms pop up Tuesday afternoon, but I think much of the day is dry. The better chances for rain and storms, maybe some strong storms in the morning and maybe another shot in the afternoon. Can't quite say for sure if this is a severe setup yet, but this is our next best shot for rain. Hopefully widespread rain to wash out some of the tree allergens that have been bugging some of you throughout much of the week. Not to mention to cool us down temporarily on Thursday once we get on the backside of that. Overall, though, not a bad forecast. 73, quiet for your Easter Sunday, 74 Monday, upper 70s Tuesday, dropping back to 70 on Wednesday. A very brief detour into the upper 50s on Thursday. Then, Chris, easily back into 70s for next weekend.
It looks like a beautiful week to enjoy a croissant every single day. I mean, spring is really sprung around here.
I know. I still remember a few years ago I forecasted a cold and pockets of freezing drizzles for Easter Sunday. Thankfully, we're nowhere near that this time.
No, nowhere near that. Yeah. Nick, thank you so much for that beautiful forecast. Well, coming up in sports, Missouri Southern looking to get revenge against conference opponent Central Missouri after dropping Friday's game. Plus, Pittsburgh State football suits up to play their spring game. Danny Terzer has the highlights next.
Missouri Southern is back on the field today looking for revenge against Central Missouri. The Mules took game 1 of the 3-game series in a 5-2 pitchers duel on Friday. The top 10 matchup continues with a doubleheader. In game 1, third inning, Cole Taylor sends this one over the back fence. Back-to-back 2-run home runs for the Mules. Then with 2 outs and a man on, Joe Kinder hits a bomb deep center. His 7th of the season. Lions take an 8-6 lead after 3. Later, Matt Miller. This will be a base knock. Henry Kuziak in for the score. It's 11-9 Lions. Central Missouri, though, keeps the pressure. 9 home runs in the game. Lions fall 17-12. In game 2, Mules stay hot. Missouri Southern goes down 22-10. Jordan Fitzpatrick drives in 5 runs. The Lions move to 18-6 on the season and 12-6 in the conference. Pitt State also playing a doubleheader today to finish off the road series against Rogers State. PSU won Friday's game 3-1. In game 1 today, Gorillas win by a score of 4-3 after being down for much of the game. Garrett McGowan scores the game-winning run in the 9th off a sac fly. Pitt State completes the series sweep, winning game 2 2-0. The Gorillas get runs from Ryan Koval and Grayson Pinkett. PSU played a much abbreviated schedule last fall, just 4 games. Now they've been able to follow their spring schedule just as intended. The Gorillas suited up in the crimson and gold to play some live game action today and in front of some fans. In the spring game, offense versus defense. The throw here to a sea of crimson. Frontenac alum Brandon Malikas gets the pick. Then, offense on the goal line, finding Jalen Martin for 6. That's the offense's first touchdown of the day. Driving down the field again, Matt Harmon hauls it towards the end zone. Safety Jared Flood comes away with it. The defense finishes with 3 interceptions. They'll win at 58-51 using the Jersey scrimmage scoring system.
Great to see the defense create some turnovers, and on the flip side of that, you don't like seeing the offense turn it over on a day like today, but I loved our energy, and I just love how our guys come out and compete every day. It's a fun group to be around, and a group of guys that just love football and love each other.
The junior college football season kicked off last weekend. NEO lost their home opener to Trinity Valley 29-10. The Norsemen have a chance to bounce back today as they play host to Kilgore. NEO looking for their first win of the season and first win under head coach Zach CRISSUP. Kilgore strikes first. Chance Aney calls his own number. He takes it into the end zone. Rangers lead 7-0 early. Second quarter, Kilgore ball. Garrison Johnson pushes through the line. He shakes off the defender for the touchdown, makes it 14 unanswered. Norseman responding though. Marcus Morris finds the end zone for the first NEO touchdown. To the third, Billy Maples airs it out deep to Elijah Smoot. He comes down with it, but NEO can't get the pat. That keeps them from their first win. They drop this one 14-13.
It's not about the 75 plays that you take and you do exactly everything right. It's the one or two that you don't think matters ends up being the ones that matter. And we're just so close, and it eats at your heart and it eats at your gut. But we're close, and I don't want to be close anymore. I don't play horseshoes.
Around the area, Fort Scott traveling to Garden City today. The Greyhounds take a tough 76-9 loss. Reese Thomas had Fort Scott's only touchdown, a 39-yard reception. The Greyhounds fall to 0-2 to open up the season. Coffeyville also on the road against Dodge City. The Red Ravens pick up their first win of the season, beating the Conquistadors 38-10. Redshirt freshman Taven Jackson had 2 defensive touchdowns, one off an interception, the other from recovering a blocked field goal attempt. That's it for sports. We'll be back with more news after this.
Well, baby capybara has found a new family at the Cali Zoo after its mother abandoned it soon after birth last December. The little female capybara is 3 months old and is under the care of a surrogate mother who is in charge of providing her with the skills she needs for optimal development. The baby capybara was rejected shortly after birth by her first-time parents, said Cali Zoo Communications Manager Susan Posada. But the zoo hopes that in a couple of months she will be able to unite with another female of the same species. Baby capybaras. It's so cute. Would you want one?
Probably not.
I don't know how big they get, so
yeah,
I'm not sure if I'd want one myself or not, but they're cute when they're little.
Yeah, in the meantime, though, I know everyone wants a good Easter Sunday, and thankfully that's what we have lined up for everybody. Chilly start in the morning with lows near 50, but we'll go to 73. Partly to mostly sunny skies. We're dry for your Easter Sunday, dry Monday. Then we'll watch for our next storm system sneaking in here Tuesday and Wednesday, Chris.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. And that's our time for now. Our next news times tomorrow night at 9 on Fox 14. We'll be back again at 10 on KOAM. And don't forget, KOAM is online all the time at KOAMNewsNow.com and the KOAM News Now app. Thanks for making us part of your night.